Long ago, a peasant girl named Maria enchanted a man by her beauty. They were forced to keep their relationship a secret since he was wealthy and she was not. Maria eventually conceived 3 children, but as the years went by, her true love no longer cared for Maria and visited the children less and less every time. Maria then found out that he had deceived her by marrying another woman. This destroyed her heart and created so much resentment towards her children. Filled with rage, she rushed her 3 kids to a nearby river where they would take their last living breath. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jehan, and to start off this tutorial, we are going to apply a light foundation to our face. I didn't want to go with white because white just seems a little too harsh for me, but I did want her to look dead. So when you're dead, obviously you're going to look really, really pale. And there goes my backdrop. It fell, but I fixed it, so let's move on. So as you can see, I'm using a damp beauty sponge just to blend everything out, and I did use several layers of this foundation. And once you get the coverage that you like, you're going to set it with a translucent powder. I'm going to start off by carving out my cheekbones, and for this I'm just using a light gray shadow, which is going to help if you make mistakes, and a buffer brush just to get these really nice crisp lines. After I got my desired shape, I went ahead and took water activated face paint and just relined it on top so it's nice and crisp. And then I'm just going to take my brush again and start buffing out that line just to kind of create a gradient effect. And I'm taking it in an upward motion. As you can see, I kind of curved it at the end because I want it to look really kind of like a hollow skeleton cheekbone, and that's really the look that I'm going for without making her look like a skeleton. Okay, so next I'm going to start by carving out my jawline and pretty much just taking it up my jaw through my chin to the other side of the face, and then I'm going to take everything down and then just start pretty much painting it on my face until about halfway down my neck. Don't worry if it starts to look streaky. I actually really liked how it faded. I want it to go from dark to light, but obviously we can go ahead and pack it on more as we go. I tend to skip around a lot in this tutorial, so now I'm going up to my forehead and I am just darkening up where the shadows would be, and just focusing it up more on my hairline and just really buffing it into my hair. Now I'm taking the NYX Skinny Mascara, and this was really perfect for getting like that feathery, creepy, really dark brow, and that's what I was kind of going for as well. Now we're gonna do some nose contouring, and I'm still using my buffing brush. I'm just going back and forth and really just doing the shadows of my nose, but also cutting like my nostril so it seems a little bit smaller. I'm also going to continue this contour up to my brow, and specifically like the lower part of my brow because I really wanted to connect that shadow. Moving on to the eyes, I'm just taking a crease brush with that same gray color and I'm just going to blend it out on my crease. In order to blend out the crease, I really like using a fluffy crease brush and just going back and forth in windshield wiping motions so that you can kind of blend it out really, really well. I went ahead and got like this really dark plum red color and focused it more on the transition part of the crease and then just brought it in into my inner tear duct and just blended it out really well. And you're just going to keep going back and forth until it looks really nice. Now I'm just going to take a really dark black color and focus it on the outer V of the eye, and then going back with the fluffy crease brush again and just blend it all in really, because I'm kind of going for like a smoky skeleton eye type of thing, if that makes any sense. But overall this look will come together at the end. We're just going to keep blending as much as possible. You're going to keep bringing that shadow down to your inner tear duct and blending it in with the side of your nose where we contoured earlier, and just keep building up that shadow and intensifying it and just really blending as we go. Lots of blending if you haven't noticed already. Now I'm going back with a really dark shadow and starting to really intensify those shadows around my nose. As you saw, I added a little bit inside of my nostril, around my nostril, and started connecting it upwards to, like I said, really intensify that shadow. So I'm going to take a little bit of the gray, the plum, and a black color and just focus it under my eye and buff it in as well as blend it out. We want to blend it in really well into those shadows because this is what's really creating the effect that she's been crying. She literally cries almost every night in regret for what she did for her children. So it's almost creating the effect of really dark circles, but also kind of like when you see a skeleton, it's just all really dark and hollow. I'm taking a NYX eyeshadow base in the color white and I'm focusing it on the center of the lid, kind of creating a halo eye. Just to intensify it a little bit more, I went ahead and added the Milk Jumbo Stick pencil by NYX and then just blended it in a little bit with my finger, and then I'm going to go back and blend it in with my fluffy crease brush. I went ahead and lined my upper lip with the NYX Super Skinny Eye Marker, and I really liked how this looked because I only focused it on the top of the lip, and then I'm going to go in with a dark shadow and kind of buff it in and blend it. On the lower lip, I'm just using that dark shadow on the inner part of the lip and then just kind of creating like a gradient effect from the top of my lip all the way down to the bottom. Just to take a little break from all that blending, we're going to take that black face paint and just intensify the neck a little bit just to create more of a shadow, and whatever's left over, just bring it down all the way down to your chest. Now we're going to create those tears. So I took a spatula with some liquid latex and I actually used yarn. Yarn was kind of my favorite way to create really intense, kind of like scar looking tears, and that's really what I wanted to portray for her. And you're just going to go little by little, adding a little bit of liquid latex to your face, kind of taking it down, and then just literally placing it on top of the liquid latex. And then after that, you're going to add more liquid latex on top of the yarn so that it really adheres to the skin really well. And I got my little fan here that helps me speed up the process because that's super helpful. because sometimes liquid latex does take a little bit to dry, so if you want to speed up the process, I do recommend using a little fan. As I get lower to the neck, it does get a little bit more difficult to apply, but just keep going back, add generous amount of liquid latex, and just be patient. This does take a little while. If it gets messy, don't worry, because it does dry down clear, which is really good. So you're just going to continue the same method on the other side of the face for the tears. I decided to do 3. You can do as many as you want, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. The reason I decided to do 3 tears was because Maria had 3 children that she murdered. So I wanted this to signify each child within kind of like her skin that she cries for, and just really kind of make that the focus of the look. In order to make these tears stand out, I went ahead and just shaded right underneath it. You're going to do both sides so it really makes the effect that they're popping out of the skin, almost like a vein. So this is literally what I'm doing to each tear, going back and forth, and then we're just going to blend it with a blending brush. While I'm working on these tears, I just want to talk about why I chose to do La Llorona. And honestly, it just kind of came to me one day, and I grew up learning about La Llorona. It's super popular in Mexico, and literally everybody who's Latino probably knows about her. You always hear that she is a beautiful woman and that she is just crying down the rivers, and as soon as you see her in real life, from what I've heard of the tales, is that she is super creepy looking. So what I envisioned in my head is literally what I'm creating for you guys. So that's pretty much it. You should definitely look up her story because it's super scary and really sad, honestly. Now we're gonna use some fake blood. Yeah, so I feel like this really completes the look. Obviously, it's gonna look weird if you just leave it as is, so blood was the way to go. I wanted her to literally cry tears of blood, so that's what we created. You're going to literally add the blood slowly because this can actually get all over your face, but hey, if you're all about that messy life, go for it. I just wanted it to focus on the actual tear where the yarn is, and just work slowly, be patient, and this is what it's gonna look like at the end. As you can see, I decided to be a little messier at the bottom because later on I'm actually going to slather a lot of that fake blood all around my chest. I'm going to saturate my beauty sponge with some fake blood and just blend it into my chest, kind of signifying that she is a bloody murderer. And I want to create that gradient effect from the black to the red, so really just keep blending and patting it into your skin. To finish off this look, I wanted to add some texture onto my face. I really wanted her to look like she drowned herself, that she was dead and had a really weird appearance to her face. So with this sponge, I just started stippling a little bit of foundation in some of those colors that I used on her face, just to create that really weird texture. And I really feel like this pulled the look together to make her look even creepier. So that's pretty much it, guys. That was the end of this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. This was very outside of my comfort zone. I normally don't do creepy, so I am so glad that I was able to push myself and kind of think outside of the box. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I really appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in my next video.